The IU School of Medicine, the Evansville Center, is one of 8 campuses for the Indiana University School of Medicine, which is the largest medical school in the country. We're in our 40th year, and the concept actually started with community leaders, business leaders, education leaders, legislative leaders in the Evansville area in the 1960s.
Starting the process is always a very difficult endeavor, no matter what. So Dr. Corcoran, Dr. Heinrich, and all the different physicians in Evansville had the foresight in the late 60s and the early 70s to get this school off the ground.
I had students way back in as early as 1960 where they weren't a formal rotation, not like they are today, to the IU Medical School, sent down students even before their residency programs. That spilled over into the fact that IU began to send us students even before they had a formal relationship. There was a time that I had students from 7 different medical schools. I think we always had a good reputation. We always had very good teachers.
These pioneers believed that Evansville was ideally situated to be the second medical school in the state. So the initial attempt was to open a separate second medical school in the state of Indiana. What happened during that time, though, is other cities started to have the same idea. And they saw what was happening in Evansville, and several other cities decided they wanted to have their own medical school. So a compromise was reached at that time. And what basically happened then was that the state decided to support regional campuses at that time for only the first year of med school.
Well, I was first involved when I was admitted to the School of Medicine and was assigned to this Evansville campus. When I received the letter of acceptance on my wedding day in 1973, I was dumbfounded that I was going to Evansville to learn medicine. So when I got back from my honeymoon, I called Indianapolis and asked, what's an Evansville Center for Medical Education? And they explained it to me that it was a new program.
What happened initially was you would do your first year, as an example, here at the Evansville campus, and then you would go up to Indianapolis for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th years. Shortly, within a few years after that, the regional campuses expanded to a 2-year program.
We spent the first semester at the University of Evansville 4 days and 1 day on the ISUE campus, as it was called at that time. And then the second semester they turned that around and we spent 4 days out where the present campus is, and then we would do 1 day per week on the U of E campus. Many people didn't know we were there.
Then the campus was on the U of E campus on top of the nursing building from 1980 to 1994, and that was the main campus, but also part of the school continued to be out at USI. In 1994, they opened a new building at USI, and we were on the top of the health science building, and it's been in one campus since that time.
The university was so young at the time when the Med Center first came onto our campus that really in many ways we've kind of grown together.
This is a sagittal x-ray. All right. In mid-2004 or 5, they realized we had a significant physician shortage coming, and the state supported a 30% expansion of the IU School of Medicine. Once that happened, it was going to take our enrollment up to around 330 to 340 students a year. Indianapolis could not handle that many clinical students in the 3rd or 4th year. So there was a decision to expand the regional campuses out to 4-year programs. And that's what our expansion is going to do. Next year we'll have our first 3rd-year students here, the year after 4th year, and from that point on we will be a 4-year campus.
Many doctors in our area have many talents, and I think we have already seen the benefit of that. If you look at the scores of our students here, they rank as high as anywhere in Indiana. And it's because of our basic science professors at our campus, but it's also because of the clinical volunteers. So we already have a very strong base to build on to make a 4-year program.
And I think the exciting thing is that the foundation of this partnership that IU has made with universities like the University of Southern Indiana is that it's based on a spirit of collaboration. And if you look ahead for what's going to be happening in healthcare in the United States, Collaboration is only going to become more important. Collaboration is going to become the way that all institutions are going to not just survive, but to flourish.
I think that having the third and fourth year will allow even more students from throughout the state to see what it's like living in Southwest Indiana. Those students will have more of a tendency to stay in this area. I think that the real advantage of the regional campus is the closeness with which the students can work with faculty. I enjoy mentoring medical students because A, it does give me an opportunity to pass it forward, and B, the students ask some pretty hard questions sometimes, and I have to go to the books occasionally to get an answer.
The care by residents always improves any hospital. I had experience, I could teach them physical diagnosis and so forth. But every year, they gain knowledge that I was never exposed to. So it's a two-way street. And so any kind of a teaching program in a hospital upgrades the hospital. I would not want to work in a hospital that didn't have a residency program.
Well, I think the 40th year is a very important time to celebrate the School of Medicine here in Evansville. I think particularly it's a time to look back, to appreciate, to give thanks to those early pioneers that spent multiple years in the 1960s putting together the vision of a four-year medical school in Evansville. There have been so many people in this community that have supported this med school, and I think that it's a very exciting time. The school is ready to take off in Evansville, and I think we are going to build something in the next 40 years that hopefully the people will look back and they'll say that the people back in 2012, their vision was something special.